Final Fantasy VII was my very first JRPG I ever played, and boy, was it a ride. In fact, I set the victory theme to be my subscriber notification, so if you aren't following me on Twitch already, go make me hear it 200 plus times. But seriously though, the music, the characters, the graphics... okay, alright, it hasn't aged all that well, just a bunch of polygons at this point, but there was a trailer for Final Fantasy VII that literally portrayed it as an upcoming movie.
The most anticipated epic adventure of the year will never come to a theater near you. Final Fantasy VII.
That's how good the graphics were for its time. And now, 23 years later, it's finally time for the remake's release. And man, is it an exciting return. Now, with all the side stories for Final Fantasy VII that have been created, we know a lot more going into this game than we did back in 1997. I'm wondering how Square Enix is going to be able to throw curveballs at us, even though most of us who have been following the series do generally know what's going to happen in the plot. So that is a slight worry of mine, even though throughout the demo the devs do seem to have changed quite a few things. The soundtrack, for one, I feel has been changed mostly for the better. There are some pretty big misses here though, especially with the remix of Hurry during the train sequence, which isn't in the demo, but hear me out, listen to the original. Now, check out the remix. It just doesn't evoke the same feeling I had when hurrying through the doors in the original, with the tick-tock an essential part of the track now completely taken out of the remixed version. It's pretty disappointing stuff. That's the biggest thing I can point out about the soundtrack though. It's kind of a nitpick, but I do like the orchestrated tracks too, to be fair. I'm sure there will be people who prefer the original soundtracks, and I think that's mainly just up to personal preference. One thing that has clearly been changed for the better is the battle system. Ooh, you saw what I did to that soldier? Oh, automatically transitioning into battle. I love this, and it's just the demo. Switching characters on the fly depending on the combat situation. Final Fantasy X, eat your heart out. I freaking love this game. Seriously though, I love the way they did the new combat system, especially coming off of the heels of Final Fantasy XV. FF15 is just kind of like, hold square, okay, now hold circle, okay, now maybe press triangle a few times. So FF15's combat could be done with one hand. Honestly, I don't... With 7, these bullets actually freaking hurt. Like, I actually have to block, or they'll take out a decent chunk of your health. Unlike when I could just matrix bullets in 15, looking at you, Noctis. You have to approach fights with a strategy in mind. For instance, using thunder on the mechanical enemies to cause more damage, or hiding behind debris so as not to get one-shot by the boss's attack. I also love the fact that you can clearly see the materia that Cloud has equipped as he's running around the Mako reactor, or while he's in battle. I think that's a pretty nice touch. The fact that Red 13 isn't playable in combat is disappointing to hear though. I was looking forward to see how his moveset would be. I understand that you obtain him in the latter part of the Midgar arc, and maybe it would have taken them too long to program him into the combat for the first part of the game, but it's still disheartening nonetheless. This brings up my biggest gripe with the game, that it's only the Midgar section. After that, you're gonna have to cough up some more cash. While I was playing the demo and totally enraptured by how well done everything was, I couldn't help but feel uneasy when I realized, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get to experience this whole thing from start to finish. When you started Final Fantasy VII, part of the charm was not knowing you were going to venture out of Midgar and see new towns and cities and experience all kinds of adventures. I mean, Midgar was big enough alone back then to make you think the whole game would take place there. And now to know that this remake, or the first part at least, will only be taking place in Midgar takes some of the charm away from me. It'll be different if they really were able to make a full-length Final Fantasy game out of the Midgar section, like Square keeps stressing, but I honestly will believe it when I see it. The marketing for this game has also been slightly disingenuous, I feel, with the title of the game solely being Final Fantasy VII Remake, almost insinuating that they remade the entire game already. They couldn't have made it Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1? No, because Square Enix knew that it would affect their sales, so they're trying their best to sneak around the fact that they're releasing the game episodically. I do think it's incredible that they're releasing the first part of the game on 2 Blu-ray discs. That is a sign that Square is delivering on their promise of making a full-length Final Fantasy game, and it's clear that they are putting a lot of effort into this remake. But we'll know for sure in about a month. But anyway, I digress. What do you all think of Final Fantasy VII Remake? Are you on board, or are you cautiously hyped like I am? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, or Final Fantasy IX Remake is never gonna happen, guys. I'm sorry.